Pierre Auguste Cot. Okay. Hi friends, my name is Al or at Lilstarnerd on Instagram, and welcome to today's episode of It's Good to Be Gay. I don't think I said this in my last video, but happy Pride, friends. We love Pride. We love gay. This is a good time to remind you that I'm gay. We're all gay here, even if you're not gay. If you're part of this channel, you are an honorary gay. This is the queer fam. If you have a problem with that, you are kindly invited to go away, okay? To celebrate Pride, I thought now would be a really good time to continue my series called Make It Gay, where I take classic pieces of art and I make it gay. Today we're doing Springtime by Pierre Auguste Cot, which I love. I think it was made in like the early 1870s. I love this piece. It's beautiful, and I think it'd be great to make gay. I actually did this piece and filmed it like a month ago because I wanted to make sure it was done in time for Pride so I could give it to you guys. So I'm gonna take this moment to plug the fact that my Etsy just got updated. It has some Pride packs, I have some gay stickers, and all of my Make It Gay pieces are on there. So go check that out. This piece is available for sale in the Pride pack and by itself. So plugging myself, go check it out. I'm really excited about it. I also just updated my Patreon and it has like 2 new tiers. It's totally revamped and I'm really excited about it, so go check that out too. Okay, without further ado, let's get into the video. Also, I just want to let you guys know that all of the footage that you're going to see, the speed paint footage, is going to be available as a real-time video on my Patreon for certain tiers, so check that out. Okay, for this video, I wanted to take a moment to answer a large question that I have gotten many times throughout my time on the internet as an artist, and that is, what inspires you? You might have heard me answer it before with something really vague, like, oh, everything inspires me. And that's true, but it's also like not at all helpful. And I thought it'd be cool to kind of delve into what that means and what inspiration is, especially because for once in my life, I'm getting a lot of inspiration from a much more narrow source right now, which is very, very rare for me. First, let's talk about inspiration in a more broad sense, like my usual answer of everything and what that means and how you can use that information. If you've seen my video about art block, you know I break art down into 3 like building blocks: motivation, inspiration, and ability. Inspiration in my books is all your ideas for art, your connection to art. And generally, we talk about inspiration coming from like some sort of source. And while that is totally a thing, yes, we get inspired by specific things, I think when you ask an artist what inspires you, that's just way too broad of a question. I think there are very few artists who create from only one very specific perspective all the time with only one direct source of inspiration. Maybe a series is inspired by something specific, maybe one piece is inspired by something, but often I think the idea of an artist and their inspiration is just kind of misunderstood, at least from my perspective. And if you're also an artist, I think you kind of get what I mean. Generally, I think the desire to create, the ideas, the creativity, that's inside of you all the time. Sure, sometimes I see nice colors or a pretty texture or experience an emotion or something that sparks some idea for a piece in me, but otherwise, like, I'm just living, soaking in life, and eventually that all plays a part in what I create and why. We, and by extension our art, are a culmination of our experiences, the things we do, the people we love, the things we see. So when I say I'm inspired by everything, I'm not trying to be an asshole. I really just mean, like, everything eventually will end up in my artwork. Everything about life affects what I create every day. So I think it's more about the context of how you ask an artist that question. If you go to an artist gallery show and they have a new series they're displaying, you could totally ask them what inspired that series and they could probably give you a solid, specific answer. Ask a photographer what made them want to take this specific photo and they could probably tell you that they liked the lighting or the moment felt special. But ask any sort of creative person on some random day when they're not actively creating what inspires them in general, and their mind is like guaranteed to blank. So what does this mean for you? What can you take from this? My advice to anyone looking for inspiration, which I'm assuming is why people kind of like ask me that so often, or anyone trying to figure out how to interpret the inspiration they feel, is to broaden your horizons a little bit. Inspiration doesn't need to come from one specific place. It doesn't need to be some abstract, sophisticated, touching life lesson, whatever. Be open to the idea that your inspiration doesn't have a name. Recognize that the moments when you feel happy, when you like what you see, that those are moments that could be inspiration for you. I've gotten into the habit of just taking photos of just about anything that sparks even a little bit of interest or inspiration in me. A dress pattern from the thrift store, the texture of a rock, the way plants interact, a color combination on some buildings, the way light comes through a window. Those are all photos that I have on my camera roll because in that moment I was like, I can see that being something that I want to draw one day. There are so many tiny little moments and things that I find so beautiful and inspiring, and now I hoard those little moments to look back at later. Of course, there's a whole other side to inspiration, which is other art. There are so many artists who inspire me, which is a whole other video I do plan on making, but I think it's important I mention this here as well. I have a folder on Instagram for saved posts of just specific pieces that I absolutely love and that speak to me. And I save them, and then in those moments where I feel a little blocked up or where I'm not sure what I want to draw, I take a scroll through those posts and let these brilliant artists inspire me. I just want to point out here, however, that when you take inspiration from other artists, it is very important that we are actually just taking inspiration and not literally just copying what their piece is. For example, maybe you like that they use a particular color for their shadows, so you try and do the same thing. Maybe you like the way they draw noses. Maybe you like the dark mood and want to recreate that. Literally just copying someone's idea and changing a few colors or a few lines is not taking inspiration. That's just copying. I'm saying this because 1, I don't want to accidentally condone copying and stealing art, and 2, I've had multiple people tag me in posts where they literally, line for line, copy my original artwork and then say that they're inspired by me as if they're not just blatantly ripping me off. And yes, I'm aware that I'm literally blatantly ripping off a piece of art right now as I'm saying this, but I will say I genuinely think that famous, well-known, classic pieces of art are an exception to this rule. Like, Pierre isn't losing out on any attention or notoriety or credit for this piece just because I'm copying it. Recreating classics will always be a common form of art, and in my opinion, a valid one, but I do get it if you're a little mad at my hypocrisy. That's fair. This was probably bad timing. Anyways, to close this out, I want to tell you guys about what I've been inspired by lately, which is classic art, which is what is in this video. Even before I had this piece done like a month ago, I've been in this kick of just loving and looking into like art history, learning about some great artists and discovering new favorites. And I mean, these pieces are famous classics for a reason, right? Like I keep finding things that I need to recreate, I need to get closer to. Like I want to experience these things on a personal level. Like Klimt's hands, the way he does hands, like, oh my gosh, I want to do a whole study of just Klimt's hands because I am so in love with the way that he does them. They're so pretty. Also, just like everything about Rococo, everything. But anyways, I think I'm kind of developing this side of myself as an artist as I do all of these recreations and studies and stuff. I'm not quite sure what it is that I'm developing yet, but I think eventually this will lead to like bigger and better things for me and hopefully originals. But yeah, for once in my life, I can say I have a specific source of inspiration, and it's really changing the way I'm approaching my art, from the concepts to the media to the methods, and it's pushing me to be way more ambitious than I've ever had the desire to be before. So yeah, I'm hoping I can ride this wave of inspiration to like achieve those big ambitious things before I move on to the next thing or this inspiration dies out. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's the video. Like I said, this piece is available as a print in my shop, so if you're into it, if you like it, feel free to check it out. All those links are down below. You can also check me out on Instagram and Twitter. You can commission me on either of those platforms. I have a few slots open right now. I think I have 2 to 3, maybe 4. But yeah, Patreon, yada, yada, yada. That's all linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. My videos are doing really well lately, and it really warms my heart to know that you guys are liking what I'm doing, and the support I'm receiving is just overwhelming. So thank you so much, honestly. Anyways, I love you guys. Go Google pictures of frogs, open your windows, get that vitamin D, and go do some art. Okay, bye guys.